Guys, I tracked this antique store Matchbook back to its original location in Cincinnati, Ohio, and uncovered 30 years of insane illegal history in the process, including arson, murder, and even a plane crash. Stick with me. If you're new here, my name is Matt, and I return old antique store photos and matchbooks back to its original location. It's kind of been my new thing. Follow for more. These stories are crazy. The Hangar Bar, which is connected to the Barn Cafe, opened up on a small, creepy little alley off of Walnut Street in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1944. Even in the first year of this place being open, you wouldn't believe how many police records there are of this place being a hot spot for horse betting, other types of gambling, and prostitution. Within the first year of them being open, there was a massive fire. And look, we all know that all these fires are totally legitimate and not for insurance money, so this was just an actual fire. In the first 2 years it was open, there's so many articles about theft, embezzlement, etc. This is a really goofy story about a guy who stole a woman's purse and was punched in the face and taken into custody by another bar patron. Bro was fined a whole $50 for this one. Basically, the back alley spot became so notorious for its gambling, they had to put an end to this and put an end to Chevelles Restaurant, who's the owner. So the Chevelle family is a Jewish family from Cincinnati who owned a bunch of different businesses, and they have some lore about them as well. Sadly, their father was actually murdered 10 years earlier, and these guys had a history of being pretty well-known boxers in the area and also kind of running this organization with a bunch of local criminals. This family must have been plugged in because they all just kept getting away with all these liquor citations and everything else they were getting in trouble for, which was like every few weeks, basically. Police even witnessed this man through a peephole with 30 other people engaged in illegal activity, and still this guy just kept getting away with it. In the 50s, I think they definitely tried to rebrand it because you could see they started calling it the theater. They had jazz bands there. They called it a steakhouse. They tried to make it an upscale cocktail lounge. They even took out ads in the paper trying to rebrand the spot. I'm pretty sure this was new ownership trying to put a new face to this place because it had so much horrible history. And they pretty successfully stayed out of trouble for the next 10 years, except for a few liquor license things, you know, some prostitution things, and polite gunman activity, which I love the headline on this, by the way. In the late 70s, the spot was sold back to a wholesome family member, a Chevelle, and they opened an entirely new restaurant in the space called the Rib Pit. People really loved this spot and it became a popular place for MLB players to hang out. Until it closed in the 80s due to a massive roach problem, which people seem to vividly remember in a lot of these online forums I read. Over 40 years later, this place is now called Nicholson's Fine Food and Whiskey, and it looks beautiful. The alley has become completely cleaned up from that creepy old spot it once was, and is super, super beautiful. This place has amazing reviews online. I really want to go here. But to finish the story off, I have one interesting detail. At some point during all the crime and chaos of the Hangar Bar, their bartender was actually killed in a plane crash. Now, this is super sad. I don't mean to conspire about the dead, but with all the other stuff that's happened with this place, I wouldn't be surprised if this was some crazy story behind it. Also, it's called Hangar Bar, and they died in a plane accident. That is really weird. Let me know what you thought of this story. I think it's really cool, and I have plenty more of these coming. This is one of my favorite things to do recently, so please follow for more. And if you're from Cincinnati, go there and send me a picture or something. I'm really interested to learn more about this area.